Hi and welcome to day 3 of DEPHEMEREMBER, your daily ephemera inspiration in December. Let's create another beautiful junk journal ephemera piece using the prompt of today, that's woodland animal and seed package. Let's see what we can do with this prompt. Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Nice to see you here. Yeah, so the prompt list says seed package. That means we need a seed package, so we have to make one. In this case, I can't show you an original seed package because I don't have one in my stash. But if you perhaps want to see some, you can go to Pinterest and just type into this search bar seed package and you will get tons of results. You can see some really vintage ones there, I mean original vintage seed packages, but you can also find some handmade ones that are really nicely decorated, and perhaps you get some more inspiration there. So for my package, I'm using this paper here. This is really sturdy. And by the way, oh, I'm so proud. I have to tell you that this is the paper my new lights were wrapped in. So I have new lights for my video recording and I'm really proud. So yeah, I thought, why not using this? It's also some kind of a memory keeping for me using such a material. So perhaps that's an idea for you as well. But of course you can use any paper that you want. I prefer this brown paper because, yeah, it's some kind of a natural looking material. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just folding this in half because I think that's a good width for my seed packaging. And I need something on top here to flip that around. I mean, a little closure or something like that. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to cut this out of this one sheet. I will tell you in a second the measurements of my package, but I think it's a good idea to use this kind of paper and then find your measurements just by folding and cutting it. I'm cutting this piece here off because I don't need it. Then it looks like this, and I have this opening here on top. And now, of course, I need something here to flip it to the other side. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can manage that. So for this, I'm folding this back, and as you can see, I don't measure anything. And yeah, I hate measuring, but it's also not necessary for this plan because I think, yeah, you have to decide about the proportions for your package and then you can just start and just do it. I make a little line here to have, yeah, something like a guide where I have to cut this little flip. This, of course, I want to have straight so that it don't look too weird. So I'm just cutting this here. Now it looks like this. And when I fold this over, it looks a little bit strange. I want to have the corners of this thing rounded so that this can be the same shape on each side. I'm just making a little mark here, how I want it, only on one of the both sides. Then I'm folding this in half. And I'm just cutting both of these layers of paper at the same time so that I can get the same shape on both sides. I think with these rounded edges, it looks way more harmonical and nice. So, of course, that's personal preference. You can do it like you want it. And when you flip this around, you realize that this is a little bit too long here on the top. So I would like to just fold a little bit of this other part of this package to the inside so that I have this part a little bit shorter on the one hand, and on the other hand it makes this opening way more sturdy. So I'm just folding this. This is approximately 1/2 centimeter. And now, as you can see, this can be closed much more easily. And I'm just gluing this little piece here with my glue stick so that it stays in place. Just fold it and you are ready to go. And our DEPHEMEREMBER prompt list also says we shall use a woodland animal today. So I have chosen this one here. This page comes from my cute woodland digital printable junk journal kit. You can get that in my Etsy shop. The link is also down below in the description box. I've printed this originally DIN A4 page a little bit smaller so that I can have the right size for my little woodland animal here. And now I would like to punch a hole, and here you can see me struggling with the punch. I mean, if you would use the punch, you know, like you would use it, it will be way too close to the edge. But I would like to have my circle punched out from the middle of the paper. So I saw this trick, I think, at the channel of Susanne, known as Bollenhut Art on YouTube. She made it like this, and I'm just trying this out here for the first time. So I fold my paper in half, and the most punches have these little marks on the side where you can see where the middle is, and you can just place the paper in the punch and then you have it like this when you fold the paper back. So I was really happy that that worked. I've never done that before. So now we have this circle here where you can see, yeah, into the package. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to make a paper that is a little bit bigger than this hole. As you can see, this is approximately 1 centimeter bigger on each side as the hole is. And my whole package, by the way, is 13.5 centimeters in width. And it's 19 centimeters high. The hole is 5 centimeters. So perhaps you want to use these measurements to get the same size of the package. Now I can place this paper behind, and it looks a little bit matchy. So I would like to decide if I want to put something round into this hole to let it look a little bit more interesting. But I would like to imitate the illusion that you can look into this seed package. For that, I'm using this plastic foil. It's just a packaging of, I think, a stamp, or I really don't know what was in there. But you can use any plastic foil that you have. And I'm just cutting this into the same size like this other piece, as you can see here, so that I can later on put that on top of this little square. So that will go in here like this. And perhaps you can guess what I want to do here. It's so hard to explain. So I think that will work when we do it like this. But as I said, this looks really matchy. I am not sure if I want this totally natural look. I mean, if you buy a tea, for example, you can get these packages as well, and you can look into this tea package and see the tea. And if we leave it brown, it could be could become this imagination that the whole package is filled with seeds. But I don't know if I like that. So I have these both circles here. This is just a leftover from another project. I've also punched those with this hole punch thingy. And this is exactly the same size. It's a little bit smaller because I did this freestyle punching with the other hole, but it will fit perfectly. And I would like to put it here to the belly of this little animal here. So I think that looks really cute. It looks a little bit like he has this hole in his hands, or this little, amount of seeds. So I'm putting my seeds here to this circle, and I try to decide which of this both I want to use. I think They fit both really well to the background and, no, not the background, we don't need the background, to the colors of this animal. But first I couldn't decide which one I want to use. I've decided to use this one with the more white color on it, because the contrast with the seeds is a lot bigger, so that you can see them better when they are included into this little arrangement there later. Hopefully that makes sense. So I've just glued this colored circle to this brown paper, and now I would like to shade around with art crayon that you can smear with your fingers to make this a little bit more three-dimensional and more popping out. Now I'm placing my seeds here on top of this little circle, and then I'm putting my plastic foil on top, and I've glued this with bookbinder's glue. I know this takes a long time to dry, but it's really sturdy, and yeah, it's really good for gluing plastic on paper. I think, yeah. Perhaps you have another glue that can manage that, but I can't recommend a glue stick, for example. That would not work. I think it's time for the next letter for our giveaway. So please look here. This is the next letter. All the information for the giveaway, how this strange thing works and why I'm telling you something about letters and popping up in my videos, all the information is down below in the description box. Please read that if you want to join my giveaway that I'm running through this series of DEPHEMEREMBER. Yeah, so I'm just gluing this little guy here to my seed package. And I'm using bookbinder's glue for this as well. And here you can see I have sewn around with my sewing machine. My sewing machine unfortunately made some special effects, as you can see here. But yeah, I have to live with this now. But I think it looks really cute. And I've also sewn here, even if that was not necessary because the paper bag was closed there, but I like it better when the sewing is all around this package. Okay, so of course you could also, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can also sew that by hand or just glue it. But I would recommend, especially for this circle in the middle, to sew it because, yeah, you know, it's more secure. And now I would like to imitate some really abstract flowers or some botanicals around this little guy in the middle, because those seeds one day will grow. And I thought it could be cute to add something like a really abstract thing that grows there. So I didn't want to yeah, make these clear flowers, or you know what I mean. I wanted to have this little bit artsy. Yeah, so I tried to let some gesso that I've watered down run over this package. As you can see, I have some problems here because the gesso was still too thick. So if you want to do that, make sure that it is really, really thin so that it has the chance to run over your package. Do that really carefully. You don't want to destroy your woodland animal there in the middle. So yeah, you know, I'm still not sure if I know the name of this animal. Is this raccoon? I think so. I'm always a little bit confused about these names, but I think it's raccoon. Okay, so here I'm trying this with a little bit more water. And as you can see, this works not so well. It's not so abstract and not so artsy like I wanted it. So first of all, I tried to blow some air, I mean, from my mouth. But that didn't work. So I'm spritzing some more water here to get that a little bit more, you know, spread it out. And I also wanted to have this contrast between this light white and the more intensive white of this gesso color. In this stage it looks really strange, but when it's dry, I think it's okay, and I think it looks really interesting. So let's dry this. As you can see, the areas where much water was dried really light, and I really like that, but I wanted to have a little bit more of this brighter white, so I decided that I wanted to put some color there on the top of this package, and when I had that, I was really happy with the result. I think that looks really cool. And now I think we need some blossoms for these things, also really abstract. And I had seen a video the other day, I can't remember where it was. There was someone who used these little Q-tips and stamped with them, and that was really beautiful. In German, we sometimes say the word beautiful in this way. This was really beautiful. Do you know what I mean? When Germans say that, it's like a child is jealous about, for example, his brother or someone else. It's this really, I can't explain that, but I was impressed by this technique, and I said it was really beautiful, and I want to do it by myself. So I tried to stamp that here to the rest of this paper, and as you can see, I'm not happy. This worked not like in this video, and in that video it looked so easy, and so what I found out is if you put these Q-tip thingies too near to each other, too close to each other, it works not so well. It smears around. Too much paint is not a good idea, and when they are too close to each other, the circles get really ugly. So I tried to hold them in a way that they are not so close to each other, and then I thought, okay, that can work. I don't know how you see that, but but this was really strange. You could also use a string or something like that to hold these things together. To hold it with your hand is only a good idea if you don't need too much of this stamping. So I think I need a doctor tomorrow, because my hand was like frozen when when I was finished with this, because I didn't want to change the position of these single little Q-tips there to don't mess up my stamping. But yeah, as you can see, this looks really cool, and I think you can guess that these are some botanicals in a really abstract way, I know, but I wanted it like this, and I think that also matches really well the colors in this circle and also of this raccoon animal thingy. And now I'm trying to get this a little bit more filigrane. I mean, if you look at a lawn, for example, you can see some different flowers, and they are not so rough like what I had before. So I tried to spritz some white gesso, and after that I'm spritzing black acrylic paint to make that look more filigrane, like these little guys that are flying around the flowers. Do you know these, for example, these dandelion thingies that are flying around? I wanted to imitate that to make it more cute as well, because this little animal is also so cute, and I wanted to have this background matching this feeling of the seed package. Does that make sense? Sometimes I'm feeling really weird when I'm trying to explain what's in my head and what I thought when I do this, but your comments in the past have shown me that you want to know that and that you appreciate when I explain it like this, but I'm always not sure if this is a good idea. Okay, so now this looks like this, and I was really happy when I had this. This takes a little time to dry, and I would recommend to let that air dry. Then you get the best results from this spritzing session. And now I would like to stamp the word seeds to, some kind of a little label to add that to my package as well. So I'm taking my letter stamps here. You can also use your own handwriting, or how is that called? A stencil or whatever, or you can print it with your printer. And then I had this really cool quote: "Every day is a new beginning." And I thought that would fit really well. Attention, please. Here is the next letter for my giveaway. Please check out the info box for all of the information about the giveaway and how to enter. Okay, so let's go back to the project. I've just glued my stamped word here and also the quote, and then I've distressed the edges of my seed package. I think that looks way more vintage and way more interesting. I've also did it here on this little flappy so that it looks a little bit more used, and I'm really happy with this color combination. I think this black and white and brown looks really, really nice in this combination. And now, of course, you can put this seed package ephemera piece into your junk journal. Then you have this opening there on top. You can put some more seeds into it because, they're in the circle. You can't take them out now. They are only decoration. So you can put more seeds into this package and use them in your garden, for example. This would be perfect for a garden journal. You could also put bought seed packages into this package. What a sentence. Sorry. But when this is in your journal, I like to close it. So I would like to find a way to close this package so that the things that are inside can't fall out when I, for example, take my journal with me into my garden. I don't have a garden. So wherever, you would like to take it away and you want to make sure that the things can't fall out. So I'm just taking this little thing here and close it. And now, of course, if you want to glue that completely to a junk journal page, you would have no chance to open this anymore. So please make sure, if you want to imitate this and make it the same like I did it here, that you choose a closure that's suitable for your needs. If you want to glue it completely, you can also make this closure of a coin envelope. I think you know this thing that is closed with a thread, or you could also use a magnet to close this so that you can glue it completely. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I have managed it. Really cool. So please make sure that you also visit the channel of Barbara, known as 49 Dragonflies, today. She has another idea how to make such a seed package. I'm really excited what she will do. I have no idea. You will find the link of her video down below in the description box of this video. And if you want to share your own results, I would be really happy to see some of your own seed packages. Please use the hashtag DEPHEMEREMBER so that I can find your results really easily. See you tomorrow. Stay creative, stay healthy. Bye bye.